I'm a big slasher guy, so there are few that have passed me by. But for some reason, Scott Spiegel's 1989 film did just that. And it's really too bad because I was missing out on some of the slickest shooting and most brutal kills of the whole decade. Not to mention all of the Evil Dead connections. So today on Real Slashers, let's go to the grocery store and try not to be killed by Ned Flanders as we take a look at Intruder.
Don't you see? I'm just crazy about this store.
I'm Tyler Nichols, and as most of you guys know, I love slashers. And there's nothing better than discovering something new. Well, new to me. Released in 1989, Intruder was well past the initial slasher boom of the early 80s, yet it fits in well with the others from that period. It takes the premise of a killer stalking a group of people and sets it at a convenience store. And I just want to point out right now that the original title for the film was The Night Crew, which I think works just so much better and is so much less generic than Intruder. But I guess Intruder works fine. Elizabeth Cox plays final girl Jennifer Ross, and she's fairly forgettable. She clearly has really bad taste in men, as bad boy Craig is pining after her. He's got a full greaser outfit, and they argue in the most ridiculous ways.
You're crazy!
Call me that.
With moments like this, I'm never going to claim the film is amazing, but it's shot very cool. And once the killings start up, Craig is our main suspect. And of course, we're going to be getting into spoilers, so be on the lookout. It's shot like the original Friday the 13th, where it keeps the killer's identity a mystery until the big reveal at the end. But don't expect some kind of identifiable outfit or mask or something. It's over and done with in a flash. The rest of the cast is made up of various people, including the two Raimi brothers, Sam and Ted. The two brothers, along with Bruce Campbell, actually grew up with director Scott Spiegel. They would go on to make the first two Evil Dead movies together, with Spiegel even writing the second one. But oddly enough, neither brother really shows any personality here and are mostly just here for the body count. Though at one point Sam starts singing the same exact song that the girls sing in The Evil Dead.
All the songs that you sang together.
All the songs that we've sung together after.
It's quite fun. Gotta love moments like that. I'm sure like most of you, I know Renee Estevez, other than being a doppelganger for her brother Emilio, from the film Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers. She's the final girl there, so I had some expectations set for her character just because of that alone. But that would be a mistake, because not only is she fairly irrelevant to the story, with her being the first kill, but she doesn't even get a proper death. They simply cut away instead of showing any sort of impact. Sure, Heather comes across her body later, but it's hardly impactful. And she gets second billing. But I suppose the whole film could be criticized for that, as they also promote Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi, and Bruce Campbell, and make it seem like they're in much more of the film than they actually are. Hell, Bruce just shows up at the very end and receives top billing on some DVDs. Oh, marketing, you cruel bitch. Intruder plays out like a standard slasher, with the different members of the night crew getting killed one by one until there's just our final girl left. The kills start out light, but really ramp up by the end. And I have to give credit to Scott Spiegel because there are some very creative shots in this. They could have easily taken a more lazy approach, yet they go above and beyond with some unique setups and brilliant framing. Like usual, the big reveal at the end needs to be broken down in a little more detail, so let's get into that.
The night crew had nothing to do with it.
I couldn't let anybody stop me. I guess I just got a little carried away.
After spending an entire film setting up Craig to be the killer, and with nearly every possible suspect being dead as a doornail by this point, there seems to be only one possible solution. Craig's the killer. And Jennifer comes to this conclusion herself, only for store owner Bill Roberts to show up. Jennifer is so fast to accept Bill's help that she misses the fact that Bill's hands are covered in blood. It's such a dumb reveal, but I love how much Bill just immediately goes from normal to absolutely insane. He flips his shit and starts chasing after her. We get a nice little cat and mouse pursuit that utilizes the conveyor belts, as well as various grocery store equipment. They really make sure to take advantage of the setting. Jennifer even grabs some knives to defend herself, finally breaking out of the damsel in distress label that she fit into so comfortably until this moment. She's finally defending herself. Then we get a nice little cameo from Scott Spiegel as a delivery man. But this leads to the most baffling aspect of the film: Craig's heroism. See, after spending an entire movie thinking that he's the killer and just an overall douchebag, they make the oddball decision to make him a good guy. But not before Bill comes in and beats the man half to death with a head. Seriously, Bill is great once he gets going. He's using it like a damn bowling ball. Heather escapes outside and Bill of course follows, getting stabbed in the process.
Where'd you get the knife?
It can never be that simple, so Bill attacks her in the phone booth, but she's saved by Craig. He stabs Bill a bunch, and the day is seemingly saved. Though. This is where the film takes one fucked up turn. When the cops arrive, hey, that's Bruce Campbell and producer Lawrence Bender. Bill, somehow still alive, proclaims that Heather and Craig are the killers. And since they're just teenagers, the cops arrest them and believe Bill. There's no happy ending here. Everyone's dead and our heroes are hauled off to jail. Ouch.
But why?
For the store. Danny was always a big boss. He always called the shots on every business deal until now. I couldn't let that son of a bitch take the store away from me. The store's my whole life. I had to kill him.
I'm not going to lie, the Ned Flanders look-alike is one of the weaker killers during the whole mystery/build-up angle. We aren't able to see him, and there's not much to go off of in terms of personality. But once they actually reveal him, it's fairly fun because he gets to act crazy. Portrayed by Dan Hicks, the Bill Roberts character doesn't really let on about his true intentions. See, he's upset that his business partner is selling the grocery store to the city. So his solution is to murder everyone. Craig serves as a pretty silly red herring, as it's so obvious that it's not him just by virtue of how much they're trying to make it seem like it is, that it feels a little on the nose. He doesn't show any kind of killer instinct and simply seems like someone who's obsessed with a girl and wants her back. If anything, I wish Bill had taken Craig's greaser jacket or something. Would have given him some kind of look. There's a moment early on where it seems like Craig has murdered Bill, taking the suspicions away from him, but it really just seems to be done for the audience's benefit and for no other real reason. I can at least appreciate that they went through the pains to make sense of the killer's location. There's no teleporting killer going on in this film, as he can always logically get from point A to B in a reasonable amount of time. Intruder features some early work from the K&B effects guys, and it's really incredible. So incredible that I'm probably not going to be able to show you much here. I was constantly blown away at the effects work being done. There's a kill involving a jigsaw, which is one of the most brutal things I've ever witnessed on film, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. The way they utilize parts of the grocery store, whether it's the meat hooks from the butcher or the compactor in the back room, feels perfect. Which reminds me, you'd think you might want a shirt like the one that I'm wearing? Well...
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
Oh wow, it's Tim, what a surprise. Tim, you look horrible. Anal itch got you down? Can you actually speak, Tim?
Intruder released in the United States on January 27th, 1989. And there's no box office to speak of, but the film did have an interesting release, as its VHS covers actually spoiled the identity of the killer. That's right, if you picked this one up at the video store, you likely already knew that the mustachioed gentleman was the would-be killer. A bit disappointing if you ask me. And the DVD wasn't much better, with it making it look like Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi were the stars. Thankfully, the film has been given a proper Blu-ray release that doesn't sell the customer a false bill of goods. If anything, this cover really lets you know how much of a gory good time you're in for. So shout out to Synopsis Films for doing it right. That's better than the '88 film's release, which still presents a bunch of side characters as the main leads. This was my first experience with Scott Spiegel's Intruder, and I had an absolute blast. From the wonderful special effects to the fantastic setting, I can't believe this film managed to elude me for so many years, but thankfully that mistake has been rectified. And I hope that if you haven't seen it, you'll give it a chance, because despite it falling nearly a decade after the subgenre's heyday, this is still one of the most fun slashers out there, and asks the question, why the hell aren't more slashers set in grocery stores?